Story 1. Gas station passenger. This happened last year during a solo road trip I was taking from Wisconsin to Montana. Most of the route was long, empty stretches of highway, forests, fields, and the occasional mountain. Once I left the city, behind, it was isolation. The kind of isolation that makes you feel like the last person on earth. Because of my schedule, I had to drive overnight. I figured I'd save money by avoiding a second hotel. I double-checked my gear, snacks beside me, and hit the road at 7 p.m. After about 2 hours of driving, I noticed gas stations were becoming more and more rare. I still had 2/3 of a tank left, but I decided to top off. The station I found was an old, lifeless place. 4 pumps, no lights on in the store. I pulled in, started pumping gas, but the flow was painfully slow. It took nearly a minute just for 1 gallon. As I leaned against my car, a vehicle drove by. Slowly, too slowly. It passed the station, then backed up, pulling into the pump behind me. We were the only 2 vehicles on this lonely road in the middle of nowhere, in the dead of night. I stayed calm, figured maybe they missed the turn, but after a minute, I noticed the man hadn't started pumping gas. I looked over. He was just standing there, tall, wearing a grey flannel and black jeans, his eyes locked on me. Lifeless. Heavy. I nodded politely, trying not to look shaken. Finally, after a long pause, he began fueling up. I told myself I was just being paranoid. I got in my car and drove away, chalking it up to a weird dude on a late night drive. But hours later, after midnight, it started to rain. Hard. The road blurred. I could barely keep my eyes open. At 1 a.m., I spotted another gas station, run down, but lit. I filled up, then parked on the side of the building to take a quick nap. I fell asleep to the sound of rain. Only 25 minutes passed before I woke up. Alarm not even triggered. Something felt off. Through the fogged windshield, I saw another car at the pump. It looked familiar. My heart sank. It was him. Same car, but he was nowhere in sight. Not in the car. Not outside. Nowhere. Suddenly, something told me to go. I turned the key, threw the car into reverse, and then I saw it. In the mirror, his face, in my back seat. He didn't say a word, just stared, eyes wide, unblinking, inhuman. Kicked open the door, jumped into the rain-soaked pavement. My car was still rolling backward. I ran into the woods. Branches whipped my arms. My lungs burned. I watched from behind a tree as my car stopped, then drove off into the night. He left me there, with his car. I walked over, hands shaking. It was unlocked, keys still in the ignition, random groceries inside, and a phone. Locked, but I could still call 911. The cops later told me that car had also been reported stolen. The man, whoever he was, had likely done this before. And whoever the original owner was, they hadn't been as lucky. I was probably supposed to keep driving. He would have waited until we were far enough away, then who knows what would have happened. He was never found, and neither was my car. Story 2. The man on the porch. This happened last January. I live in a small house in a small town surrounded by woods. Quiet. Peaceful. That night, I had a half day at work. I was looking forward to relaxing, maybe watching a movie. At around 7 p.m., I got a call from a friend. His car broke down and he needed a ride home. I agreed, grabbed my coat, keys, and headed for the door. But the moment I opened it, I jumped. There was a man standing on my porch, a foot away. No knock, no sound. Just there, heavy coat, black scarf covering his face from the nose down. He didn't flinch. Didn't even seem surprised that I had nearly crashed into him. He calmly apologized, said he was just about to knock. I asked who he was looking for. He said something, like David or Daryl. Definitely not me. I said no, and he quietly walked off. But I didn't relax. I locked the door and watched him walk all the way down my long driveway before getting in my car. Still uneasy, I picked up my friend and we grabbed a quick dinner. By 9, I was back home. I unlocked the front door, took off my boots and flopped on the couch. Hours passed. Around midnight, I stretched, turned off the TV and headed for bed. But passing the front door, I remembered him, the man. Out of curiosity, I looked through the peephole. Nothing. Just a calm, snowy night. But something caught my eye. Tracks, footprints, leading up my driveway and off into the yard, toward the woods. Suddenly, my stomach dropped. I slammed the door shut and locked it. My thoughts raced. Had he come back? Why? I called 911, tried to stay calm while explaining what I saw. Then, thud, a violent bang hit the back wall of my house. It felt like it shook the frame. I ran toward the back window but saw nothing. No footprints there, no figure. But then I noticed something moving in the shadows between the trees. Just barely visible. Figure. Watching. Standing completely still. Not moving toward me. Just watching. The cops arrived minutes later. They searched. Found the same prints I had seen earlier. But no man. And no answers. Story 3. The Shadow in the Woods. This one is shorter, but no less disturbing. It happened during a camping trip my cousin and I took deep in the Pacific Northwest. We were both experienced with wilderness, had gear, supplies, maps, everything. By our third night, we had set up camp near a clearing not far from a cold creek. It was a quiet night. Clear sky, stars above. We had a fire going, shared stories, drank a bit. Then we heard it, branches cracking, footsteps, but heavy, not the rustle of deer, deliberate, slow. We killed the fire, sat in the dark, listening. The steps came closer, then stopped. Dead silence. No wind, no movement. Then, a voice. From the trees. "Are you boys alone?" We froze. Neither of us answered. I grabbed my flashlight, shined it toward the noise. Nothing. Seconds passed. Then something ran through the woods. Fast. Too fast. But we saw it. Not an animal. Not a person either. Something long. Lanky. Crawling on all fours. But too tall to be a dog or bear. It disappeared into the black of the forest. We packed up immediately, hiked the entire night back to the car, and never went back. If you enjoyed these stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us which story creeped you out the most.